Today we're making Harpae from Pocket Mirror.
Guess who's back? Back again. Nikki's back. Back again. Okay, so this was my first time making a crinoline / hoop skirt / whatever. On the website I bought the boning from, it said that this plastic boning would work for that, but it turned out very flimsy. I realized, like, after I made it, yeah, I should have gotten steel boning, but it said that it would work, but obviously it didn't. So oh well.
Look how clean it is. I used dishwater and isopropyl alcohol on the board inside.
Drunkard.
So now it's very clean. It will work very well.
Go back to your own channel.
It makes great contact.
So basically how you do one is just you make a waistband and then have strips going down and just attach circles to it that expand in size. And this costume required a very short hoop skirt. Oops. Okay, so that is not perfect, but I don't care. This time I can't be bothered, and there's gonna be a fluffy skirt over it anyway, so honestly don't even look at it. And then we move on to actually making the skirt, the blue skirt, and I just made it a simple circle skirt. And here we have the kitties playing, so a little quick break for that. Daisy. Läskig du ser ut. It is day 3 of hemming the skirt, and I have finally gotten halfway. Circle skirts are amazing, but also so time consuming. This skirt took me forever because I took my driver's license last week, and that's a big process here in Sweden, so I had to prioritize that. It's not as easy as it is in America. But well, except for the crosses that are gonna go on the bottom, it's done. So I'm gonna move on to the white underskirt or the crosses. The rest of the crosses, we'll see. And also because I took my driver's license, there is something I've always wanted to do, and I'm gonna force it upon you all.
Where is it?
And then I made the exact same thing, but in white for the underskirt, and I attached a ruffle on the bottom, and that's the only difference. And how I attached it was making a French seam. I finally made it, but now it's stuck. Oh, there we go. So I looked at 2 tutorials. The one about pulling the threads into the loop did not work at all for me, but the one just feeding the loop with the fabric did work. So now it is time for all of this to be rolled. It just never ends. I've already done this, but it isn't even half. It's still on the floor. So what I'm doing is just pulling it in under the foot, so it scrunches, and then just sew over that. Because if I try to gather this with just a piece of thread, yeah, I actually did try that. That's why there's a gathering thread here. It did not hold up. It broke immediately. So now we're doing this. I am trimming the skirt because I'm gonna do a French seam on the ruffle, because there will be a lot of work otherwise, because the blue skirt took me days to hem and I'm not feeling like doing that again. So we're gonna do, because I would have to do that twice. I will have to do that on the actual skirt and then on the ruffles, which are actually way longer. So I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do a French seam, so I'm just trimming the edges to the seams. So here I just wanted to try it out because I had never worn something like it before. Honey, come and see.
so big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is it cute?
Yeah, it's so cute. I love how it just stays out there on the sides. I don't know what to say.
And here you can see that I just attached more of those ribbons to make it a little bit sturdier at least. Now here is how I made the crosses. I needed 12 of them, so I just take 2 ribbons, one shorter, and attached it and sew cord all around it to make the actual cross shape. So I know it's been a long time since I posted, and that's because procrastination. Well, first of all, this took a long time to sew because there's so many pieces. Then when I actually started editing, I got sick, and then, you know, just life. There have been a lot of things to do, and I have also started at a new work, and it's taken some time to... Oh, yeah, at the waist thing now. I don't know what to call it. It's like a belt corset, but it's also not, because it doesn't have any structure. So I basically just made a tube with pointy ends and put grommets on it. And oh, so the funny thing about Harpae is that she has 3 pinafores. So how I did it was I made a big half ellipse and just attached more ruffles to it. This is the ruffliest project I have done. I don't ever want to make ruffles again. I will, and it will be a good finished result. I know that, but my goodness, I never want to see them again. So yeah, as I've said before, the cats are crazy every time there's fabric. And here you can see how I put it together. I just gather it in the waistband and just made sure that the placements were good in relation to each other. Have any of you played Pocket Mirror? It's actually a pretty old game, but it was... I don't know if it was popular. I think it's relatively popular. It's not as popular as like Mad Father, but it came out around the same time. But I've only seen about one person play it, and when I searched popular RPG games, because I wanted to search for Pocket Mirror again, but I just didn't know what the name was anymore, it was really hard to find it. I saw like one picture in all of my searching. Oh yeah, now we're making the capelet, so I just made a big circle, then I cut it down to size, and then I cut the front so it would be a bit straighter. And made more ruffles. But I mean, Pocket Mirror also got a remake with better graphics and such, so it must have been somewhat popular. So yeah, when we played it, Anders was like, "Oh, Harpae, she's so pretty," because he thinks maid costumes are really cute and pretty. And I liked Harpae too. I have a tendency to like the really pretty characters that are crazy under the surface. Okay, I have shortened the neck ruffle because it went all the way up to my jaw, which it's not supposed to do, so I just halved it. And then we come to the bow. In the original, this capelet is actually longer, but that does not work in real life if I compare to the size and dimensions of the pieces I have made. And I took a look at Harpae again, and turns out she just has an extremely long torso. So this is a bit shorter, and because of that the bow is still big, but the actual strips had to be a lot shorter, which means that I cannot tie it conventionally. So I have just tied this ribbon that is the same as this cord. I just tied it around the strips as I held them in a bow shape. And it worked out really well. And I just hid the ends inside of the bow. So yeah. Daisy bonita. Pretty girl. Daisy. Also, if you ever hear when I'm recording through my phone and you hear that smacking noise, I'm sorry about that. That's my phone charm that's tapping against the mic. I'm trying to be mindful of that every time I record, but sometimes I forget. Oh yeah, now it's onto the shirt. I made pin tucks for it. Luckily it's a pretty big pin tucks and I didn't have to do it all around the shirt. I only did it in the front and the center back because there was really no need for the whole thing. Now there won't be a lot that I show during the shirt making. I do show the basics, like all the pieces, like how all the pieces look. But I don't show a lot of the assembly because, my phone tipped over my ring light that also holds my phone and broke, and I couldn't use it. So I had to super glue it, and that was the time that I worked on the shirt. But I pretty much just attached it and made buttons. It's not very complicated, and I'm sure I will make more shirts in the future. I forgot to film the color, but it's basically this shape, but I halved it in the width, and it's double layered, so that you can fold it over, because you can't really do that with just this, because one edge would not have the same length as the other. So you pretty much have to do it double width and iron it down. And then I'm gonna hand stitch it on the inside, so it doesn't show on the outside. And then we make the head bow. The funny thing is that out of all of the videos I have made this far, I know it's not a lot, but out of all the ones I made that it's a costume and not just a random clothing piece, there's a bow in my hair. Why do all of them have bows? Especially Harpae, because that is the dumbest bow I have ever seen. Like, it's cute, I guess, but it's like, why is it there? Why is it right on the roots of the bangs? And first I made it too big, so I just remade it, but made it smaller, and it felt unnecessary to show that again because it's just the same process. And then I took 2 regular white buttons and painted them with nail polish to make them blue, because Harpae has blue crystals and I don't have blue crystals, so yeah. I just want to chime in here at the end and say that I was really happy with the result of this. This was one of my most successful projects I have done, and I think it turned out so good. And also screw you to my friend who said that my channel is dead, because I'm back.
Out of a puddle of blood. Ah yes, the beast within rising to the surface at the full moon. We've all been there. Sickly people flock to Yarnum for its special blood.
Är du
So
redo att
special
se?
Wow! Jesus!
Ja, fin!
Honey! Honey, these hands! These hands!
Am I pretty?
Very pretty. Jösses. It all come together.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 Ja, Daisy håller med.
Daisy! We match.
We match. So cute. My girlies.
Anders went to the bathroom, so I'm just laying in bed, trying to not be distracted by my disdain for tights. But on the other hand, they cute. And also Peach is in my costume box. And it's gonna be so cold outside. It's -6 degrees Celsius. The weather says it feels like -14. Send help.